Hey guys, this is DarkLordCookie with the Real Game at UK, and welcome back to Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Now, this is part 4, and yeah, quick recap. I died twice because this little village here, I got captured, and yeah, I ran into a bit of difficulty because I told myself do not go into the village, and I did. So, I'm about to leave Shamutanti and about to venture through it, and it looks like that the hills are over there, but it looks like I've got to go through all these to get through. Now, I imagine the ruins, what we got told by the person beforehand, was to be careful of which way we go to. But either way, we're going to go straight and leave this place. You wake early and sit for a moment, and in no hurry to leave the village. This is now the third day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then hurriedly collect your possessions and set along the path. Shamutanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops and you come to a fork in the road, the right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, which the left leads directly into a deep woodland. To enter the woods or between the buildings. Now, where does this take me? So if I go for this way, leave through the ruins and cross down, but it'd be nice if I went through the woods again. There seems to be no... I need to head there, because that will take me to the hills. So, I think the best place would be go through the woods, into Dumphurst, into Oristani, okay, I'm gonna go through the woods. I'm gonna have a good plan this time, into the woods. Your journey is too important to slow down by talking to locals. You must pass unseen, and so you disappear into a jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This land that has never settled or unexplored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. I'm going to move cautiously. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be careful about this. You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between the trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing your approach. Then you come to a fork in the road, still deep in the forest. Ooh. Ooh. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide or perhaps as a warning. The way to the right is marked for Dumphurst. A left turn points to Alania, a name you remember from what a man in Kristanti told you. Neither way seems to be the better trump. You still have to choose. So, do I see Aliana or straight to Dumphurst? He told me that if I did go see her, I would have to have my wits about me. But maybe if I do see her, she might give me something for my quest. Who knows? This is a risk. The path winds between trees that get greener and more lush. You must be closer to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. But after half an hour's walk through dappled shades, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls, and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here. Knock on the door? You approach and knock on the door. There is no reply. Scout around it. You perform a swift circuit around the hut, but find nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut, set by itself deep in the forest. But for someone to survive out here on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, they must be someone quite powerful. Okay, just walk in. Sure. Oh, I hope she's not inside, or I hope she doesn't come turn up. The hut is neatly laid out. You detect the touch of a fastidious woman. Chairs are set around a table, and as if for guests, a mattress lies in one corner, and a large kitchen area indicates that whoever lives here, they are fond of cooking. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to call out, see if anyone is here. Hello, is anyone here? To your surprise, a voice answers quickly. Who's there? Who's that? Locate the speaker. Looking into the corner, hidden by a large cupboard, you see a cage in which a young woman is imprisoned. Good stranger, she please, let me out this cage, I beg you. Oh, is this the Wits? It could be her. Okay, what happened to you? You move over to the cage, quite shocked. Oh, good stranger, she wails, I've been locked up here for 2 days. It was Elvins that did it. Those mischievous, pratful Elvins. Please, you must help me. I have not eaten, and they have left me here, where I can see all my cooking things, but cannot reach them. Oh, if she is Aliana. Risk, I'll help you. I'll help you. Go over to the cage you tried on the door. It is locked, of course. Ah, I can use magic. Wait, what's the spell? The one to open doors. Which one is it? It's not Foff. It's one of the other ones. Zap, hot, no, no. Walk? Was it walk? No, dop. This dop. Right. I need to actually put this down to the thing. So I will use magic. You should be grateful. I'll waste your strength on you to declare as you roll up your sleeves. I don't. Why? I wouldn't say that. What the hell? Okay, I wouldn't say that's a mean thing to say. You must be grateful. I'm saving your life. Right. Spellcasting. D. O. Where's the P? No. Oh, D. P. Right. Cast it. You cast a spell over the lock and it begins to shiver. Like a small beetle, it hums and clicks as the tumblers turn and work. Then finally it opens, it snaps open and drops to the floor. The woman claps her hand in delight and with the door open she rushes out and throws her arms around you before backing off a pace and trying to regain her composure. Stranger, she declares, I am in your debt. Aliana will reward you. Will you take an aid in combat or mastery in magic? Magic combat, I need no reward, but ooh. Do I want to flirt with her? Do I want to flirt with? I kind of do. I kind of want to flirt. I think I'm gonna take magic. I'm really like magic. Very well. She rushes over quickly to a wall and opens a panel you had not seen before, and takes out a small box, which she places in your hands with a smile. No tricks, she says with a smile. All these things will aid you if you know how they're meant to be used. Open the box. If you flip open the box, it contains a small vial of glue, a pair of strange-looking nose plugs, and 4 small pebbles. You pocket them and give back the empty box. The lady has been freed. It seems like there is nothing much more to keep you here and from your quest. Would you share my food with me? She was like, yeah. She nods vigorously, and the two of you settle down to the table. It is a mockery of a family feast as you carefully divide the last food you have. The old man's nourishing bomba fruit, trying hard not to lose any morsels into the cracks in the wood. She eats ravenously, as you do. Then finally you stand. I must be on my way. You tell her, I have many more miles to cover today. She nods, of course. Please, before you go. And as she hands something out, it's a small bag of gold coins. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm gonna. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, it's good. She's fine. You shake your head and leave the hut without another word. You retrace your steps to the last junction, where you turn to take the path to Dumfus. Right. I kind of wish I took combat, but I kind of like using magic a little bit more. I think I'm right for combat now. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees, and suddenly you stop. You have heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks at the edge of the path. Ooh, I'm going to wait and look. You hang back, watching the trees. There is definitely something moving around, something large and long, with a tail that whips between the trees. But now that you've seen it, you're at a definite advantage. I'm not going to fight. I'm going to attempt to creep around, just to make sure. The beast is off the path to the right, so if you creep towards the tree line on the left, you may escape unnoticed. You try this tactic, moving slowly and carefully, making as little noise as possible, placing your feet with delicate care. After a few more yards, you're about to rejoin the path when the movement of the animal stops. It must have heard you or caught your scent, and sure enough, a moment later, it is upon you. In a flurry of foliage and dirt, a rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It is much closer than you thought. Its sleek black fur allows it to hide in the shadows until it is almost upon you. I want to take 40 stamina. I'm going to take control of this. What was it? Law. Law is the one. Right, so it's... Can I cast a spell? Sure, I will cast a spell. That's not what casting a spell is. Go back one. Cast a spell. There we go. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one accidentally. Right. Okay, so spell casting. L, A, W, law, go. Can I take control of the bear? You cast a spell on the beast, holding it quite still. It snuffles and sniffs at the air, but cannot seem to think its way out of its difficulties. You walk smartly away. I'm not fighting a bear. Approaching Dumfus. But the problem is I can't keep casting these spells because they're using so much stamina, and the less stamina I have, if I am involved in a fight, then I will lose. So, The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then emerges into a sudden plain, as if the forest has scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Uh, okay, enter the village. The other one was fine. This one should be fine as well. Today has been a short day with few true dangers. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. So you begin the gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dunfus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. Talk to the villagers. Let's have a see what they do. You pass along the main path all through the village and pause outside a hut in which several of the hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking their fists in the air. Lifting back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking and immediately look up at you. One gets to his feet and gestures you forward. I'm going to bow my head. You nod your head once to the man, who returns the gesture. Then one of the others calls something in their native tongue and points at your side to where your sword hangs out below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons," and he indicates a table by the door where you can leave the blade. I'm going to remove my sword. I'm going to undo it with them. It's fine. I make sure make sure I don't piss these guys off. You unfasten your sword belt and leave your weapon on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation and then beckon you to sit with them. Then they continue their conversation just as animatedly as before, speaking in the local tongue that you cannot follow. But as they talk, they pour you a drink and provide you with food. They seem quite welcoming. As you eat, you listen, catching a few words here and there. Goblins, arms, Shamutanti. They all seem to be very concerned. Ask about the goblins. What are the goblins doing? Are they being armed by villagers? The men shake their head. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure that a horde of goblins are planning an attack on Shamutanti, which is apparently one of the wealthiest spots in the hills. They are discussing whether or not it will be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean they are offered some kind of a reward. You must help them. You must help them, you declare earnestly. Shamutanti, it does not help us, one of the men points out. They are rich, we are poor. You can be better than them. The men nod, swayed by your ruthless object. And you, how do you fight? Do I serve the king? I serve the king of Analand. The men shrug. Then they serve you. Then you serve a shadow, the sun. It is going down. The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave one by one. Okay. I don't know if it's saying that I'm with the king is a good idea. I think I need to keep that on a down low, that I'm with the king. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchant huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 14 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Okay, examine the sword. Carefully you lift the long sword from the table and swing it through the air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of work, I'm sure you agree, the merchant enthusiast. 6 gold pieces. I'm actually going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy the sword. I like the sword. The skull cap, though. How much is the skull cap? You pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from the priest of Dadulay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. You can tell from the feel of the cloth it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells. Can I try it on? You place it on your head, you feel nothing. I'm going to put it back, but I am going to get some provisions, because I do need it, though. There's a bag of food. There's enough to last for 6 days. For 3 days. 6 gold pieces. I will buy them. So I've got 3 rations. That's good. Right. That's enough. Anything I can help you with? Is there any work to be had here? The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he'll pay you and feed you for it. Digging what? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Does it matter? You'll find out. He stares at you. So, he asks. He looks over his shoulder at his path. I'm going that way now myself. You coming? I'm going to follow the merchant. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. Okay. What did you digging? Cesspit. Oh, okay. How much? 3 gold pieces. Okay, it's okay. Fine. It's money at the end of the day. I'll get started. Spade's out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one. And it's going to be several hours' work. That will probably take the whole night. You collect the spade with start digging, I guess. You begin digging a new hole and tipping the earth into the old hole. The ground is hard and the smell from the pit is making you gag. After you've been working for an hour or so, the owner of the household brings you out something to eat and pays you 3 pieces for your efforts. I'm going to eat, of course. It's hard to stomach the food with the smell on your hands and in the yard, but you are so hungry for the work that you wolf down the bread and the soup he provides, and it's back to work again for the remainder of the night. You are just finishing when the sun comes up. Right, so my stamina's gone up, I've got a bit more gold, so I may be in a little bit of I think I'm okay, but I'm going to, so, you rise early, dismiss the attentions of the householder and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dumfries and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill. And along one side of the barren stony ridge, is that a village you can make up on top of the hill? It seems a lonely place for it. Oh, do I go uphill or downhill? But the way this works is, so if I, okay. So if I go through up here, I can go through the bridge. So it's getting me ever so near to Care. Let's go downhill. I don't want to go to the abandoned mines. That's a bad idea. Let's carry on straight through here. Go through here. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb. You are forced to rest several times. So far, you have been walking through the foothills. Now the journey will become more serious. When finally you reach the summit and look out over the low plateau you have crested, you see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. There are villagers out in the streets, talking and working. It seems a happy, bustling place. I'm going to approach them. There seems no obvious danger. You approach along the path until you are close enough for the villagers to notice you. The effect is immediate. They begin to scurry inside their huts, as if you were an army and not a lone traveller. You cannot help but notice what a sorry bunch they are. Squat and short and all limping strangely. The bodies are thin and malnourished, and as they disappear through the doors, you notice some are missing limbs. Stop at the door and knock. You knock on the door of the nearest hut, but there is no reply. They don't. I need to talk to them. Let's have a chat with them. You push your way inside. You find the place to be an impoverished hovel. The hut has no furniture. A small fire burns in the middle of the floor, and by the far wall an ill-looking family is huddling together. The woman lifts a shaking hand as if to hold you back. Hold out a friend of friendship. You put out your hand to greet the man. He shuffles over nervously and grasps it with feeble strength. Are you magical, stranger? Are you not afraid of us? Afraid? Why? Don't you know? We have a plague in the village. You spring back for him, but it's too late. You feel the infection on the palm of your hand like a curse. Why didn't you warn me? The man looks at you with wide, sorrowful eyes. I dared to hope, he whispers. You take another step back in fear and regret. You have but a few days. Oh, this ain't good. Can I drink the blackberry juice? Quickly, you pull the flask of blackberry juice from your backpack and drink it down. You feel instantly better. The family watch with strange expression in their eyes. Jealousy or pity. But perhaps you are cured. If so, you must leave before you are infected once more. Fear overtakes you when you race out the door, and do not stop running until you are cleared of the accursed village. Oh, I wish I kept the juice for longer, but that's annoying. Never mind. The path beyond the village heads downhill once more between thick trees before turning into a narrow goat track that crosses a rough peak. From the summit, you get a wide view. I'm going to have a look around. Ahead, down a steep slope, the next village is sprawled out before you, and even from here, you can catch the sound of merry voices and shouting from the streets. It must be a carnival. Looking right, you hear a roaring noise, and you can just make out a beautiful, majestic waterfall plunging from a cliff into a great rock bowl. You watch for a few minutes, marvelling at how clear the water seems. Then it's time to move on. You follow the track down a steep decline. Oh, I'm going to head for the town. Oh, right, and I am going to end it here. Wow, okay, so I dug out a cesspit, and I almost got myself infected again, and potentially almost got myself killed, which is really annoying. Kind of wish I kept the juice that I found in the village when I was taking a few things, but obviously my adventure still continues on. So I'll head for the town, which is the next one is Shamutanti. And that is all from me. My name is DarkLordCookie from the UK. Thank you for watching. Feel free to visit our website for more, and also look at our YouTube page for more content created by other members of the realm. And yep, that is all from me. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.